Erica Kirk's carefully constructed image is collapsing fast. Insiders from within her own organisation are now exposing her personal connections to the three-letter agencies. And what they're revealing is darker than anyone imagined. From Bible studies to Black Ops, that's the real story of Erica Kirk's rise and rise. She built her brand around faith, family and freedom, while quietly running operations for some of the most powerful intelligence networks in the world. What the CIA did through Erica Kirk makes MK Ultra look like Sunday school. And now, the cover-up is crumbling in real time. The leaks are spreading, the insiders are talking, and the truth can't be contained much longer. Today's video is brought to you by VP.net, the only VPN I trust to protect my privacy from the deep state. VP.net is built to block deep state actors from spying on you. Their military-grade hardware is impenetrable. Using their service also really helps to keep my show on the air. Please visit vp.net/TPV to find out more. The connections between the CIA and the Charlie Kirk assassination are too obvious to ignore. Using Tyler Robinson as a patsy? Former agents are now admitting it has all the hallmarks of an intelligence operation.
CIA whistleblowers all admitting that this has all the hallmarks of a CIA or intel operation, but it's becoming crystal clear that the CIA and the three-letter agency connections to the Charlie Kirk assassination are growing too obvious to ignore at this point. Use Tyler Robinson as a patsy, use a convenient trans cover story, admit that you have overwhelming digital data that you present during a court hearing yesterday.
The three-letter agencies aren't joking about how much digital intel they've gathered on Tyler Robinson and his trans partner Lance Twiggs. They've been watching closely. But here's the twist. The very data they've collected proves that these two were already on their radar. And that changes everything. More on that in a moment. But first, if you've been watching this channel, you'll know that Turning Point USA insiders have been telling us the organisation has been quietly infiltrated, taken over, by intelligence operatives. Under Erica Kirk's leadership, a new era has begun. One where spies and handlers pull strings behind the scenes, shaping narratives and controlling outcomes. This didn't happen overnight. The groundwork was laid years ago. According to those on the inside, the hallways have been crawling with spooks for years.
And the one thing that has shocked me about Charlie and Turning Point USA is just how many military characters were surrounding him. Even in September 10th, people that were in the hospital, right? We've got Frank Turek, and Frank Turek, if we want to go through this, we got Andrew Colvett, Rob McCoy, Mikey McCoy, Tyler Boyer. Let's start with Frank Turek, if we have that card. And Frank Turek, again, has been honest, former officer in the U.S. Navy, and then he turned to Christian apologetics. He has two sons that are in the military, fly planes, as well as one of his son's spouses that's in the military. Andrew Colvett, by the way, if you don't know, I didn't know. I don't think Charlie knew. Certainly not when Tyler brought him or when he got hired. His brother, Captain Kurt Colvett, is in the military. His cousin, Captain Robert Colvett, is high up in the military. So that's interesting. Another pastor, but a pastor with a very strong military background. Pastor Rob McCoy, his father was a naval captain, Roy Edgar McCoy. But also, and this is kind of shocking, his father was also the assistant chief of staff for psychological warfare in the Navy. Psychological warfare. This is the name of the game.
Remember what we said. Tyler Robinson and his trans partner Lance Twiggs were on the three-letter agency's radar all along. And now there's proof. Guess the two places in the world that searched for information about Tyler and Lance before the shooting. You guessed it. Washington, D.C. and Israel. That's not a coincidence. That's pattern recognition. Ready for some more pattern recognition? What do Ryan Ruth, the Charlie Kirk crisis actor George Zinn, and the Vegas shooter Stephen Paddock have in common?
Now, here is the number one end-all be-all of why people end up being patsies. Why people end up being patsies. Why do most people end up being patsies? I'm going to show you.
Folks. In mid-2020, someone else on the server tags Lance and says, "Nobody said gross when you said you wanted to bang your 2-year-old cousin, Lance."
Guys, you think he was kidding when he said he wanted? I could run a poll. I could run a poll through YouTube. How many of you have said you want to bang your 2-year-old cousin? At any point in your life. Look, I'm not even being an ageist here. I'm not even going to say that you got to be 35 or older. Ever. I mean, when you're 5, 10, 20, you don't just say stuff like that, bro. You don't just say stuff like that. When you say stuff like that, that's the old truth peeping out. If you notice, they talk about all the drugs he did, all the drugs he does, all the alcoholic level consumption of alcohol. Guys, that slipped out. Those things slip out when you think them. I bet this guy's internet search history was an absolute lunacy. I bet it was a wreck, and I bet the feds knew about it. I reminded you, serving as I have as a lawyer, I got a call one time. Somebody I knew. The feds had found what they were looking at online and were not amused. They have ways of finding out. If they don't want to arrest you, they might just flip you. And the flipping you might cause you to go from, as Turkey Tom Zanon said in 2020, a fairly normal guy, to an absolute lunatic by 2024.
Google search results reveal that Tyler and his partner Lance had been on both the feds and Israel's radars going back all the way to 2020. Plenty of time for a pair of compromised assets to be flipped to the point they could be used as patsies. The precision of this hit suggests it was in the making for a very long time. Meticulous, calculated, and executed with intent.
One of the things you'll notice is the confession came from a very, very specific screen name. Zealous Monkey 55095 with underscores in between. That is oddly specific. So I do what I do. Who looks for Zealous Monkey 55095? Oh, the District of Columbia. Well, who else would look for it? Right? Obviously, he landed on their radar a couple years ago. That's patsy material. When you land on the radar of the feds and you're living with a guy who says he wants to have his way with 2-year-olds, that tends to happen. So that was on, what was the date on that? That was on April of 2023. You'll never guess in 2023 who else's radar Zealous Monkey landed on. Yeah, you probably would if you've been watching the show long enough. He landed on Israel's radar in 2023, October of 2023. Well, did he land on anyone else's radar? Now, there was one more name that was used in there, and I don't want to go back and try to find where it was. It was Bed Booge Inspector. It looks like Bed Bug Inspector, but with an E. It's supposedly Tyler, the Bed Booge Inspector. Here is Bed Booge Inspector way back in 2020 being looked at in Israel. Way back in 2020 being looked at in the District of Columbia. Bed Booge Inspector. In the Turkey Tom video, he pulled it up. I could go back to my notes and find the date exactly that he did. It's at the end. It's at the end of the video, like the very end of the video. So that's 2020 in D.C. Now watch what happens here. That's not our only Bed Booge, but you probably knew that. Notice the date. Remember, that was December 2020. December 2020 in the District of Columbia. Look at this one. This one also is December 2020. This one's in Israel. Bed Booge Inspector, December 2020. Also in 2023. Remember, 2023 was when he was getting the other hits for his Discord and other usernames. Now watch. Remember, we had December 2020 in DC. We had December 2020 in Israel. What if I gave you a trifecta of December 2020? Are you telling me Bed Booge Inspector didn't do something in December 2020 to land on all of these radars? Israel, Huntsville, massive FBI location, DC, massive FBI and government operation location. You're telling me Bed Booge just happened to land in the same date in all three of those places? Guys, Tyler has been on people's radars for a long damn time.
When it comes to flipping someone, the three-letter agencies have a tried and true formula. The more blackmailable the target, the easier the job. And in this case, it seems they found exactly that. Pedophiles being compromised and controlled by intelligence agencies. It's a pattern repeating itself across the world, in the corridors of power, and somehow they keep getting away with it. After the break, how this links to Turning Point USA, and the information Erica Kirk has been desperate to suppress. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. The price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with pillsforever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this bombshell interview with Mel Gibson, who says 3 of his friends who had terminal cancer were cured by the very same ivermectin and fenbendazole available at pillsforever.com.
I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take?
Jesus. They took some, what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin?
Fenbendazole.
Fenbendazole, yeah. I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkout. Please click the link below this video to take advantage of this fantastic offer. Until we see a bullet, an autopsy, a ballistics report, a rifle, and CCTV footage of Tyler Robinson climbing on the roof and sprinting into prone position at the corner of the building and taking the shot, all of which should be available, then people will continue to assume the obvious. The 3-letter agencies are complicit in the murder. According to a Turning Point USA insider, Erica Kirk has not been accepted by the rank and file within the organisation. Even worse, they're investigating her background and her family ties. And more than one 3-letter agency is featuring prominently in the results.
So, when Erica Kirk came in as leader, I don't even know how to explain it. The vibe just shifted. Like, instantly. She walks into a room and everyone goes quiet. It's not that she's mean or anything. It's more like she's studying you. You can feel it. And then she starts bringing in all these new people. Total unknowns. No social media, no LinkedIn, no nothing. It's like they just appeared. Everyone in the office is joking, well, half joking, that they're all spooks. And honestly, it fits. One guy even answered the phone once using some weird call sign, then laughed it off like, "Oh, that's what my buddies used to call me in college." Sure, dude. So people start digging around just to see who we're really working with, and it gets creepy fast. Her mom works for some Israeli defense firm, something to do with missile systems, like the Iron Dome level stuff. Her dad literally wrote the book about how to integrate private companies into the intelligence community. And Erica, she loves to brag about her connections. She'll say stuff in meetings like, "If I want to know something about someone, I can have it by morning. Mossad doesn't sleep." Then she'll flash that megawatt smile like she's joking, but she's not. Everyone knows she's not. There was this one time after a fundraiser in DC, she's talking to this intern, right? And she goes, "You sure you want to text that? I could find out who she's talking to in 3 minutes." He laughs, like he's trying to play it cool, but you could tell he was freaked out. We all were. Does she actually work for them? I mean, yeah, everyone thinks so. She's hinted at it herself. And now, the whole office feels wired. Slack channels are dead. People don't say what they're thinking anymore. Everyone's paranoid, like the walls are listening. Maybe they are.
She's not wrong. The walls are closing in. It's not paranoia. The global elite have been planning for decades to use digital platforms and technology to enslave humanity. Now Israel is openly declaring war on Americans on the internet.
Israel is turning every single Samsung phone into a surveillance device. Do you have a Samsung phone? You might want to pay attention. App Cloud pre-installed, impossible to delete. It knows your location, it knows your fingerprint, it knows your IP address, it knows every text, every call, and every search that you make. Did you know that? This isn't just data collection. This is blackmail material. Imagine the power that Israel now has to know who's criticizing them, to know who's organizing against them, to know who's a threat. They will use this against American citizens, against politicians, against businesses. And what's the response from the Trump White House or from our government as a whole? Silence.
This is the elite's endgame. Digital ID, central databases, and total surveillance. All monitored and controlled from above. We have to fight back. Here's how. First, understand the battlefield. The war isn't being fought with bombs or tanks. It's being fought with data, your movements, your conversations, your finances, your passwords, your identity, vacuumed up and stored in databanks, run by people who've declared war on you. Here's what they don't want you to know. The most popular VPNs in the world, ExpressVPN, CyberGhost and Private Internet Access, have been bought out by an Israeli company, Cape Technologies. Cape's roots trace back to Crossrider, a malware distributor notorious for hijacking people's devices, and its staff, packed with Israeli former intelligence agents, the very people who built Israel's most powerful surveillance tools. We're talking about veterans of Unit 8200, Israel's NSA on steroids, and the Dovdadin Unit, Israel's undercover death squad. Commandos trained to infiltrate, disguise themselves, and carry out assassinations. These are the very people you're paying to protect your privacy. It's not just a sick joke, it's a punchline, and you're the one they're laughing at. If you're paying for a legacy VPN, cancel your subscription right now. Because in 2025, trust is not enough anymore. But a breakthrough has arrived, one that changes everything. Just like blockchain revolutionized finance by cutting out the middlemen, cryptographic networking is about to do the same for online privacy and wipe out the corrupt and infiltrated VPN industry. VP.net was created in 2025, built from the ground up to be verifiable, transparent, and unstoppable. Legacy VPNs say, trust us not to log. Trust us not to monitor you. VP.net says, don't trust us, verify. Unlike legacy VPNs, every connection is protected by a mathematically verifiable cryptographic shield. So no third party, not even VP.net itself, can see or log your data. So if the government comes knocking, and trust me they will, VP.net has nothing to hand over. No logs, no user data, nothing. Even if somebody put a gun to their heads, they'd walk away empty-handed. Head over to vp.net/TPV and see for yourself. VP.net is superior tech. It's fast, it's unhackable, and for our viewers, it's just $5 a month. A small price to pay to stay protected on the new digital battlefield. Protect yourself today, join the movement at vp.net/TPV, and shut Big Brother's eyes for good. And here's the best part. Your membership doesn't just protect you, it helps fund the world's first open source, independently audited privacy network, powered by the people, not corporations. Join the movement at vp.net/TPV. Don't trust, verify. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elite, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family about us, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. We can't do it without you.